star. Just do you. Somebody's got to raise the bar. Just do you. Somebody's got to change the game. Just do you.
Welcome to The Rebirth. My name is Shane Marriott. I'm so excited about today's show because, of course, I have my faithful friends that's joining me, and that's Eli Isabel. Welcome, Eli.
Hey, y'all. What's happening?
And the beautiful Jen Fontel. Hi, Jen.
Hey.
Thank you guys for joining us. So we have a post Super Bowl show going on tonight, and we have a great topic. Y'all know what we're talking about? Okay. So our topic today is why? No, it's not why. It's, are you a woman to your man, or are you a nurse? Right? Are you a woman to him, or are you his nurse? So now, to put things in perspective, let me start out by reading an article to you guys that I found on Psychology Today. So they refer what we're talking about as the rescuer. So when I say rescuer, I'm talking about how women play nurse to their men. Okay. So it says the rescuer is a woman who attaches herself to partners who are emotionally unstable in some way. Though rescuers can be both men and women, for the sake of today's show, we're talking about how women are rescuers to men. So you might ask, what do these women get out of the relationships? The rescuer focuses on and worries about her partner more than she does herself. Repeatedly, she finds herself with partners who at first seem sweet and tremendous potential. You know, they have it all together, but before long reveal themselves to be emotionally volatile, unstable, aggressive, controlling, unhappy, or unable to cope with some aspect of their lives. Many men who rescuers try to save struggle with depression, severe anxiety, or addictions of some sort. So, why would a woman stay with a man in this type of situation? For the rescuer, she values love and relationships above all else. When she commits, she is fiercely loyal, and she will die trying to keep him realize his truth, because she realizes his true potential, what she thinks is his true potential. Rescuers also often come from families in which they felt the need to take care of their siblings or parents, or in which there was a high level of turmoil or drama. Though she desperately tries to help her partner, when she really trying to do is change him. So facts. She thinks she's trying to help him, but what she's really trying to do is change him to be what it is that she wants him to be. Okay. Other men who are equals and are emotionally available often seem boring to the rescuer.
Wow.
What's more, the love of a man who is emotionally whole wouldn't seem like real love to her. For these women, love is about work and sadly suffering.
Wow.
What do y'all think about that?
Wow.
Let's talk about it. What did you hear me say?
I mean,
guys, toast, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Since we can't be together.
Look.
Right, okay, I see you with the water, Jen. You showing me and Eli up right now.
You know.
I drank my water today, Shay. That's why my skin clear. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. Out of all of that, I definitely hear a lot of different things going on, but what comes out to me the most is the theme struggle love. A love that's birthed out of desperation, seeing, the potential in people and trying to shift them and into the kind of person we want them to be. And all types of examples of struggle love from different social media couples and celebrities kind of pop up in my head when just in hearing all of that dialogue.
Right. Definitely. Eli.
I think that based upon what you said, I think a lot of it has to do with what women see growing up. I think if you see a lot of struggle, love, and relationships, that's your norm. You saw your mom and your auntie trying to, this old raggedy dude, and they bringing them in, trying to help them get themselves together, always trying to help somebody bringing it all together. And to go even a step further back, go back to slavery, how women always saved us, were looking out for us and making sure we were okay so we wouldn't get killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's always been a thing where I think women, and I guess speaking about all women, but I'm speaking about Black women, how you ladies have always tried to make sure we were okay, even to your own detriment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. There's a couple things come to mind, and I want to be clear. So this can go both ways. It can go for a woman as well as it can go for a man. Mm-hmm. But like I said, for the sake of the show, we're talking about the woman being the nurse. Now, I have one more testimony here that I want to read, because I want to give you a perspective from someone who has identified themselves as being a nurse. Okay. So she says, I'm the girl who tries to fix men. Here's what I've learned. Sometimes it's difficult not to give into my maternal instincts when I come across crying babies, sick puppies, or even damaged men. She put all of that in the same category. I love to be the savior when I see the people around me in a state of despair. Notice she said savior. Okay, so keep that in mind. But after trying and failing to fix emotionally screwed up guys, I've learned that it's not always the best approach. So what she's saying is, hopefully you can learn from her. So we talk about being the savior, right? So we're all therapists here. Mm-hmm. So we naturally try to help people. We naturally are change agents, right? So any one of us can fall victim to trying to save someone.
True.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm speaking inside of a relationship, you know. I'm speaking inside friendships. We've had friendships where we've tried to help people and have gone above and beyond, but they didn't want to help themselves, right? So this can kind of flow over into a lot of different areas, if you really think about it. I think for women, like she said, you know, we're nurturers. So it's our maternal instincts. Mm-hmm. But the problem is the motive, the intention behind it.
Right.
When you are dealing with a man that is not all together, or let's keep it real. None of us is perfect, right? None of us is perfect. We all are work in progress. But, you know, if you're a woman that only deal with, or you find yourself constantly dealing with men that are broken, then that's something, it's more so about you than it is about the man.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think when people are always looking to save people, I think that they are looking for something, says self-gratification also. That's a part of it. And
absolutely,
when with women, that the nature nurture thing, absolutely, that's a part of it. But if you always find yourself with people like that, I think it has to do with, this is my opinion, I think it may have to do with you not feeling like you deserve someone who's already together. Because then that might force you to step your game up. Because if they're coming to you whole and you're not, that's a lot of pressure to finally meet a great person, you got everything going on, and you still kind of trying to figure it out. But if you get a half-ass dude who ain't got it all together, and I can mold him into what I need him to be, then there's not so much pressure on me.
Yeah.
I think to add to that, I also think women, you know, again, can go both ways, but, you know, fulfill that role of rescuer for validation of self. And they found more value into pouring into relationships with others than pouring into relationships, you know, the relationship with self. And I definitely think identity and perception of self definitely plays a huge role in the way that they navigate in those relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think too, as well, we can't assume that these women are healed themselves, because they're not. They're not healed themselves. So it's not like we're talking about a woman that's whole and healed and complete, because a woman that's whole and healed would not allow herself to be in that type of situation.
Right. And you know what, Shay, too? You're absolutely right.
I just dropped some gems, man.
I'm picking them up too. Look at me. I'm getting them all off
Go
the
ahead.
floor.
Pass them to me.
But you know what? And that's like I know that the topic is focused on women, but I think that's the same thing men do when they meet women who need them.
Yes,
I think
talk
we all
about
want
that.
to be. I think we all want to be needed. And if you're a dude whose self-esteem isn't in a certain place, and you feel like your value comes from feeling needed, or if you have the ability to take care of somebody financially or whatever, then you'll take that on, even if it's not the best thing for you, because there are some men out here that need to feel needed. And I don't know what they missed growing up. You know, maybe what they did or did not get from their mom or their dad. But there are some people out here that they have to feel needed, and they will put themselves in really crazy situations to continue to feel needed. And if they're taking care of women with 8 kids, and no disrespect to anybody who's doing that, hypothetically, if they're taking care of a woman with 8 kids and they need him and she always has to come to him for everything, he feels his self-worth is it rises from that. And so I think it goes both ways. Now they'll complain and bitch, man, I gotta pay all these bills. But you wouldn't have it any other way if you're a man in a certain place.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
I think to add to that as well, like I think most people, again, men and women, do it because it's safe. It's a pattern of behavior that, since I've observed it, I witnessed it, this is part of my family, this is safe to do it. Anything outside of that is uncomfortable and strange. Like you said before, even meeting a man who's remotely on a similar level to you or above that is uncomfortable, especially when all you've seen is struggle love that's birthed out of desperation.
Right.
Yeah, Whitney Bobby love.
Look.
Two people who are a hot mess, but they needed each other. And they serve the purpose for each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people think that's cute.
I think to piggyback off of what you were saying, Eli, when I see men in those positions, it's controlling. Controlling comes to mind. Narcissism comes to mind because there's that ego that needs to be stroked and that inflated. All of that, you see what I'm doing for you, you should, like bow to my feet and all of this above, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. I take care of you and your kids. You don't have to worry about it. It's a sense of control. It's a sense of, it could be also a sense of narcissism. But then there's times where you have men that do it because, that's just the type of man they are. And they're not holding anything over you. I'm doing it because I love you. I love your children, and I'm here for you. And this is what I want to do. And I have the means to do it with.
Right.
But I think when women do this, it comes from a different space. And like I said, I don't think women are aware that they're attracting these type of men and that they're also participating in these type of relationships with these men. So a couple weeks ago I was on Clubhouse. So those of you who don't know about Clubhouse is at this point right now is only for iPhone users, but they will be opening up hopefully soon to other providers. But it is I think it's an amazing app that you can go on and get into these different chat rooms and talk about things. I've done 2 chats already on Clubhouse that Jen had the opportunity to do with me. So if anybody out there that's watching or you are on Clubhouse, follow me at Rebirth You. Okay. So I was in this chat room and they were talking about this same topic, but in a different way. And one of the things that this guy said, he was just like, women, they go to these men, they get with these guys. And he gave an example of being in a hospital when you're sick, right? He said, you're in the hospital, you're sick, you're broken, you need to be fixed, you need to be, taken care of. He's like, who's the main person that's checking on you day in and day out, right? It's your nurse. It's not even the doctor. The doctor come in periodically and check. But day in and day out, you have nurses coming in, right, to make sure you're good from the beginning to the end, to when it's time for you to go. A lot of times people, they get really close with their nurse, or they have a favorite nurse that comes in, that they've drawn close to. And I can use the same example in the mental health field, as therapists. You have patients that start to have an emotional connection to you. That's, for them, they feel like you're a safe space, not really realizing that, okay, this is my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. Right. So they build this emotional bond and connection with you. Now, what happens when you are better at, you're doing better at the hospital, you're healed, you're not as sick, you're able to go home, you're being discharged, right? Mm-hmm. It's done. That relationship with you and that nurse is done and it's over. So he was like, what's the difference between a woman that is dealing with a broken man and she nurtures him back to health, fix him up. And once he's fixed up and he's back on his feet, guess what he ends up doing? He exits. He leaves the relationship. Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's all healed. He's all 100% now. Why would he want to stay in something that's broken? Like she's still messed up. She's not healed. She was too busy healing him that she didn't focus on her own healing. Mm. So wow. He's healed. He's 100. And now he's going to what? He's going to meet somebody that's now 100 and that's on his same level, right? Mm-hmm. And it's jacked up. If you think about it, it's jacked up. But it's life. This is what happens. Why you laughing, Eli?
No, because you know it's true.
I ain't never had nobody fix me up. I don't know, Shay. Maybe I'm still broken.
Silly.
Wow.
But I mean, what do y'all think about that example?
I think a couple things. So I think one of the biggest differences too is intentions in the relationship. I think most of the time, the intentions in some of relationships are different. The men and women have completely different perceptions of what we're doing in this relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think too, you hear a lot of stories of, women that feel very resentful about, being the mom, the nurse, the therapist, being everything to this man, and this man, leaves the relationship. Yeah. And, feeling scorned that the next woman gets to quote unquote reap the benefits of the work that she's put in.
Right.
Yep. And I hear that a lot.
Absolutely. I've even heard women say, I'm not leaving a relationship. I'm not letting it go. And my question is, well, why not? If it's because I'd be damned if another woman benefit from what I helped build.
All your hard work, right?
Right. So you want to stay in a toxic situation all because you don't want another woman to benefit from, what this man have now healed from, and, that he's in a better space. You're going to stay in a toxic situation. Who is that hurting? That's hurting you.
But you know what? I think women, more so than men, I think women are much more afraid of starting over. Like me and my boy Benny, we always talk about, like, if we were to,
I agree.
Like how we would never just leave our wives because there's somebody else with a bigger butt or better breast or whatever. Because
his butt.
I mean,
you notice every show is always. His example is always a bigger butt. Right?
All right, well, nice eyelashes. Then let's go with that.
Why can't it be a better personality? Prettier?
That don't matter because we're men. That don't matter.
It's all good, Eli.
But my larger point is why would you want to start? Like I'll ride it out with the horse that I rode in on and go get this new horse. And he's going to buck and throw me off, and I might get my neck broke. I already know what to expect from this one. So I think women look at relationships that way too. Like, I already know what I'm getting from this one. I know what they expect. I know that he farts at 3:30 in the morning every morning. I know that you know everything about this person, and so I think women are afraid to, for lack of a better phrase, relearn. Is that a word? Relearn a whole other human being. They're good, they're bad, and they're ugly. Who wants to go through that? If you've been with somebody for 10 years, you helped him get himself together. He done got a braces. He got his teeth fixed. He been to the gym. He got a good job now. You made him go to college. I think it's harder for women to let that go. Men always feel like, well, they can find the next best thing for the most part.
Yeah.
Women don't really, especially good to your kids, but he might not be so good to you. People will kind of deal with some things. They take, it's more of this than this, so I'll hang in there,
Right.
Yeah.
I think women are more tolerable of foolishness than men would be.
Yeah. Is it coming down to that 80-20?
90-10.
Yeah, 80% of what it is that you want, but that 20%, do you go for the 20%? Do you stay with the 80? Vice versa.
80,
I don't know. Yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, I think that these type of situations are never good. So, I had a talk with a chat with Eden Adele the other week. Y'all remember Eden, right? She's amazing. Yeah, she was always a guest on the Rebirth show when we were on the Hottest Live. So Eden and I did a chat in at Clubhouse, and she was talking about we were talking about toxic relationships, and one of the questions was that had came into the chat room was, why am I constantly drawing the same type of guys? Why am I drawing the same type of guys? And Eden actually answered that. And she was saying that it's not the fact that you only draw those type of men. And she gave the example of Beyonce. She was like, Beyonce's, beautiful woman. She have all these men in the world that want to be with her. She could have had any man that she wanted to, right? So all these men are attracted to her for different reasons, right? But she chose Jay-Z. So what her point is that we can have a bunch of different men options, that we draw to us, but we're only going to deal with what we're familiar with. So whatever our past has been, whatever our experience has been, those are the men that we tend to connect with. We draw a bunch of different men, but we only are connected to the ones that identify or that we are familiar with when it comes down to things, right?
So you're saying that Beyonce was once connected to a rapping camel back in the day.
I knew you was gonna say something silly.
So if it wasn't for that, Jay wouldn't have a chance. I'm sorry, it's the bourbon.
It's okay. Well, her example was the brokenness that she experienced, the things that she experienced, just growing up with her family, with her mother, her father, the things that she saw. That's what she connected to with Jay-Z. Now, do we know that to be true? I don't know. It's just it was just something that she just threw out there as an example. But the point behind all of that is we're not out here just drawing, okay, I'm getting all these broken men, all these people out here are broken. No, you have different options, but this guy that's really good for you, that may be the perfect man for you, you might find boring. And we'll find a way to dismiss somebody that,
yes.
we done had conversations. Yes. You're like, I don't know, I'm just not romantically attracted to him.
But
the way he sit down is bothersome.
The way he breathes is just like,
oh God.
Look how he dressed. It's not even, I don't know if I can.
I'm being honest with you. Like, we would come up with, if we are not feeling you in that way, you can chew the wrong way and it'd be a turn off. It'd be like,
he's too nice.
Yeah, what is that right there? He's too nice. What the hell?
But it's true though. It's true though. I think that we, like Shay was pointing out, like we tend to find fault or try to find any excuse to disqualify or, you know, a man that may have, you know, be actually genuinely good for us based off of what we're familiar with. Like he's too nice. You know, he doesn't share his feelings, or when he does share his feelings, he acts like a girl.
Yep. Yeah. And you know, I mean, you hear so many different stories, right? Rather it's our own personal experience, and I'm not saying that any of these are our personal experience.
I'm sure.
Right. I'm just saying, you know, but you have conversations with friends, you know, and like I said, maybe some of our own personal experience, but then of course we're therapists, so we see it, you know, we see it, we hear it, and it's true. So the thing about it being too nice, Eli, to answer your question, I think most women like a man that has some type of edge to them, you know. So you don't. A woman doesn't want a guy that she can walk over, like that. If you have, especially if you have a woman that has masculine energy, and that's going to be another show. We're going to talk about feminine energy and masculine energy. If you have a woman that has masculine energy, right, and you have a guy that's like really laid back, but he's a good dude, but he like, I don't want no drama, like it's all good, like, you know, that masculine energy from her can take over. And if he doesn't like step up and handle that, then you will find her to be controlling over that relationship. And then what is she going to say? She's going to say, I don't want him. He's too nice, or he don't, you know, he don't have an edge to him. And she's going to go look for somebody that does have an edge, that probably end up whooping her behind.
Pull a gun on her.
Right.
What you say? Y'all are some complicated individuals, you women. I want my daughters to want somebody who's really, really nice.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but
no. I'm just telling you again. This is not Jen and I.
Right.
We're just speaking that these are some situations, and this is not every woman. Of course, it's not. You know, some women they're okay with, you know, having a guy that's, you know, no drama, that's relaxed, that's not raising his voice, that's not, you know, but I'm telling you, a lot of women do like that. They like the masculine. They like a man to be a man. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah, I was going to say that because he's nice and he's not raising his voice and mistreat you, don't make him not a man.
Right. So what does
that mean? Misconstrued too. We have to be clear about that.
Yeah. So masculine. So that's when it goes to that masculine energy, right? You want a man to show masculine energy, right? So Jen, you want to touch on that?
Just a little bit. I mean, okay. So I'm just gonna say, just add to that. Like, I think that women are drawn to the chase. As much as we enjoy being chased, sometimes we enjoy or find fun in doing the chasing. And I hate to kind of term it this way, but in essence, working on the project, seeing the project, you know, manifesting, come through. And I think sometimes we fall into that mindset of I'm creating this project, I'm hands-on, and this is how I want it to turn out once I'm done. Versus then, you know, this is the man that is before me, and this is what his behaviors are showing me. And I think, I feel like you getting ready to say something. Hey, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, this reminds me of that movie with Tyler Perry with Lance Gross, when he was a pharmacist and he was really, really nice. And his wife,
Temptation.
Yeah. And she was going after the bad dude who kind of treated her half-ass bad, disrespected her mom. And she realized that wasn't what she needed, but it was too late. This is what this conversation reminds me of. Like, Lance Gross is just really, really too nice. Everything for her, like,
perfect example.
Reminds me of a little bit.
Yeah. Perfect example. Example. Yeah, absolutely. And then it disqualifies a lot of guys that are actually, you know, they are trying to do the right thing. They are, you know, good men, you know. So why do we go for that edginess? You know, what is it? I don't know. I really can't answer that. I wish I had the answer to it.
Does that perspective change as the older you get, though?
Does it change the older that you get?
You know what I mean? You still need the edgy guy when you're 30, 35, 40. I mean, I know you're a little younger than us, but I mean, like, when do you no longer need the edginess? And you need stability and somebody who's going to love you unconditionally.
Right.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I absolutely. I don't know to answer your question. I don't know because I'm not. It's hard for me to answer that question because I don't necessarily think that I'm a woman that feels she needs somebody that's edgy. You know, I am very feminine, so I enjoy being feminine. I think for me, my biggest problem is
I know what one of them is.
Shut up. Be quiet. We ain't talking about me.
Yeah, my biggest problem.
No, we're not talking about me. But what I'm saying.
Where'd Jen go?
Where'd Jen go? Oh, man, somehow she got knocked off. Hopefully she's able to get back on. That's funny. But
I'm gonna tell you while we wait for Jen, I'm gonna tell you one of your biggest problems is.
Here we go. Don't you start, Eli. Come on now.
You don't wear no mask. Now, that's all I gotta say about that.
Hush up. Hush up.
Contact tracing game week.
Hilarious. You're funny.
But listen, let me go back to something you said earlier while we wait for Jen. When we were saying how you kind of attract people. So I think that because of what I needed from me, I think that that's why I ended up attracting the wife that I have, the kind of person she is, because of my mother and how I saw those similarities. So I think there's some truth to what you were saying about why Jay ended up choosing, or B ended up choosing Jay, or however it worked out.
Yeah.
So I think I do definitely believe there's a lot of truth to that. And so yeah, because I think I kind of lived that from the male side of it. You needed familiar. It was familiar. There were, just even down to maybe the words they use or the phrases and the things that they were familiar with that I was familiar with. And it wasn't forced. It was easy because we were both Southern people. So you know what I mean? So I do agree with that. Like, depending on who you are and what your circumstance is, I think we do kind of revert back to what's comfortable. What we know. Yeah. Men and women. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, there you go. Take me off that hot seat you try to put me on.
Look, I'm gonna put you on there, then I'll save you at the same time.
Oh, you save me at the end.
Gift keeps on giving. Call Eli.
But if we were to switch that, why do you think that? So let's change the perspective for a minute. Here she go. Why do you think that men allow themselves to be with women that are trying to fix them? So if we change that perspective, why would a man? Welcome back, Jen.
Hey, sorry y'all.
It's okay. You left me. Sis. He threw me in a hot seat, and the next thing I knew, he was gone. So
okay.
But the question that I'm asking Eli, we are changing the perspective, and I'm asking him, why would a man be attracted to a woman that knows that is trying to change him or is trying to fix him?
I think that he would be because he's been attracted to women who didn't have time for that in the past. And now here's a woman who's willing to take him with all of his flaws, all of his bullshit, all of his emotional issues and all of that. So you looking at her like, oh shit, let me see if I can lock this down. She's accepting me for me. So that's easy for a man to do if he doesn't have his stuff together. Why wouldn't he go and be with somebody who's willing to take him for who he is? So yeah, that's easy. And don't let her have her own place. And I ain't really got my shit going on.
Right.
We over here, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
Real talk.
But I feel like the other piece to that sometimes, and the dangerous piece in dating and being in relationships, is I feel like sometimes low self-esteem is exploited, especially if the other individual knows that you have low self-esteem, and excuse my language, exploit the shit out of it. If I know that you don't believe in yourself, I'm going to run all over you. Yeah. And I think I've seen both sides of where a man has done that to a woman and a woman has done that to a man, where I know she's not going anywhere because she don't see the value in who she is without me. Yeah. So right. If I need a job, if I need a place to stay, if I need whatever, she's gonna. I mean, I could do her wrong. I could be out on the street and talking to X, Y, and Z, but I know she's not gonna leave me. So
yeah, absolutely.
Let me tell y'all a quick story. When I was in college, right? I ain't gonna call his name. My one friend, we would all go out in from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We would hit little bars and little clubs back in the day. The underground down UD, all these different places back in the 90s we would go hang out at. And so you know how when guys go out, every once in a while you might meet a girl and you get her home the first night. You know, things happen. But that wasn't something that happened all the time. But every time we went out, we would go to the club with 4 people in the car. We would leave, it'd be 5 people in the car. He always brought a girl home. We used to be like, yo, how do you do this every time? And he said, yo, you want me to tell you the truth? I said, yeah, tell the truth, because we all trying to figure this out. He was like, yo, I watched all the girls in the club who aren't dancing. The girls over there who are watching their homegirls' coats, they're over there watching the drinks. They're never out there having a good time. So if I shoot my load out here and I don't get any of the ones I really want, I know that one over there is dying for some attention. So toward the end, last couple of songs before they turn the lights on, I'm on her. We're dancing. I'm making a laugh. We're having a good time. And then we got 5 people in the car. I'm like, well, shit. Wow. But he preyed on the girls that the low self-esteem, who were the coat holders for all they cute homegirls over there watching the drinks. He had a knack for spotting them out in the club and zooming in on them. Okay, I'm gonna come back to her a little later. And then I used to be like, it's genius, but it's sad, but it's genius. In my 20s, I was like, this is ridiculous, but damn, I see you. Yeah. But I don't want her who don't think a lot of herself.
Yeah.
This is me. I need you to be in a certain place. At least meet me where I'm at.
He only wanted her for that one night though, right? That was
or whenever he can call her late at night, 2 in the morning when we coming in and she'll come through. I mean, but my point is I don't even want her to be that easy though.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Yeah.
But but he could pick out, he had a knack for picking out women with low self-esteem. And I said that told that story to Jen's point about how people take advantage of people with low self-esteem. Mm-hmm. He was a grand wizard at that shit.
Wow. Yeah. And it's sad
if y'all go out together, don't be holding each other's coats. Y'all both go dance. Because if he see y'all over there watching the drinks, you're going to get scooped.
Lord.
That's my
Thank you for that tip.
Yeah.
Right.
It's sad because that's where you see now she's that woman that you're talking about. She probably somewhere trying to fix a man now. She's nursing. That's where it starts
at the club, watching drinks and holding coats.
Yep. Exactly. I think what I've seen and what I've heard, especially in the initial start of dating someone, when a guy comes off like maybe like this guy looks like he probably had himself together and he fell in some hard times, right? So you have those type of brothers, and then you have brothers that are just out here looking to, preying on women that's vulnerable, and they may have their stuff together, but they just preying on it. But the guys that possibly may have had themselves together before, they fell on some hard luck or whatever, and they trying to rebuild their lives. Okay, now you have this chick come along with her nurse hat on or her superwoman cape, and just like, I'm going to save the day, right? Now, what is it that she's getting out of it? In her mind, if I can save this man and build him up and pour into him and let him know I got his back and I'm there for him, and he's going to stay with me. I'm going to keep him. He's mine. He's mine because I showed him I believed in him when nobody else did. I poured into him when nobody else did. I'm there. I'm his ride and die, right? So that's what's going on in the nurse's mind when she's entering into these relationships. The man is like, damn, she's holding me down. She's cool. Like, that's what's up. Word, you know, like all of that. He's not necessarily saying, I'm going to marry her. Like, this is going to be my wife. He's not necessarily saying that. He's just like, hey, yeah, she helped me down. Now, at some point, I do believe, and I've seen this now, Eli, you can jump in on this. A man starts to feel an obligation.
Yes.
To that situation. And he gets confused in a sense of what his strong feelings may be. And I'm not saying he might not feel for this woman, that he might not care for her, but it's a thin line between feeling obligated to be with someone and to marry someone versus I'm in love with this person and I can't see my life without them.
Yes, I think men stay with women a lot of times out of loyalty because of everything she's done for them. You know what I mean? And the thing about building a man up and helping him get himself together, that is the true gift and the curse. Because number one, when nobody believed in him but you, when nobody was paying him any attention but you were able to help him get himself together. Now that he's got his shit together, everybody's paying attention to him. So you take a dude who wasn't getting any attention from only but one woman, now he's desirable by a few. That man sometimes wants to explore his options because he's like, well, shit, I've never had this before. I mean, at this one table all the time, and now here the buffet has opened up to me. So if he's not, I don't want to say appreciative enough because maybe that's not the right phrase, but if he's not strong enough to draw from what she gave him and how she helped him, then he will go and he will explore because he's not used to that. He's only eating at this one table, and now the buffet's open because of what she's done for him, though. So it's a weird dynamic.
Yeah, it is. It is, and
everybody kind of come together already whole and feeling good about themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to come together. You have to be 100. She has to be 100. You know, and honestly, and I'm not even speaking of financial. I'm not speaking of, you know, your status. I'm speaking of here. Like you might be 100% whole here, and yeah, you may be going through some financial stuff or whatever the case may be, but you're still solid here. We all go through our things, right? But you can't go into a situation, women. We can't go into these situations trying to heal these men and we haven't healed our own selves. You can't pour so much into him where you're drained and you don't have nothing left for yourself.
And say, you know what, you're right. You're right. I think what happens too, I think for a long time we've heard that, like how we're now talking about everybody needs to come together already whole. Well, for so many years, what did we hear? This is my better half. They complete me. You're bringing 50, I'm bringing 50. I don't half-ass nothing from another person. You come with your shit already together and let me do the same. If not, we don't need to be together. And I think we bought into that whole better half thing forever. And it's been passed down from generation to generation. And we bought into that where that's not 50-50. Who wants that shit?
Right.
It's outdated.
So
you're going to have to build and work and tinker and be underneath his hood all the damn time and vice versa. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Absolutely. And I think we have to understand too that no matter what type of relationship you're in, you're going to go through different things, you know. Something, yes, you can talk it out with your partner and your partner could be there to support you, but at the end of the day, you are responsible for healing your own self, not your partner, not your husband, not your wife, not your girlfriend, not your boyfriend. You are responsible for healing your own self. We have to stop trying to take control of everything and think because we're nurturers and think that we can just lay hands and you're healed and everything is good. And because when it's not good, or when that person decides to say, you know what, this was cool, thank you, but this is not for me anymore, guess who's left all broken and hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the loss feels traumatic because your identity is tied into someone else, pouring into someone else. And I think again that thinking, my better half thinking, is super outdated. You know, I think I'll speak for the millennial generation. Women come into relationships.
Wait a minute, hold up.
You
just called us old, Eli.
No.
I'm okay with it at this point, Shay. It is what it is.
No, I'm just gonna
continue, Queen. Go ahead.
We baby boomers, Shay. We baby boomers.
Look. I think women enter relationships with the, intent to fix, rescue, and men enter the relationship to, or I think vice versa, that women are expecting men to validate them, to give them worth, to, build them up. And I think, again, partially part of that is the self-esteem, that they don't feel like they're capable of doing them themselves. So I'm going to get me somebody or be with someone who can do the work that I feel like I can't do myself.
Right. Right.
And again, when we become so entrenched in that mode of thinking, when the relationship doesn't work out, it feels so traumatic. We lose a sense of, we feel like we're losing a sense of who we are, and we know that we're inadequate. But again, it comes down to, I feel like, a whole bunch of factors, but the main one is mindset, the intent that we expect men to validate us, and that we are, supposed to fix these men.
Right.
And to piggyback off of that, Jen, I think that's what destroys a relationship, because you can't ask me to be your therapist, to be the father you never had, to be your best homeboy. Like, that's too much to ask for your mate to be, and vice versa. I can't expect you to be my mama, my sister, my auntie who treated me well. That's not fair to you either. Yeah. And that's what happens. Broken people keep dating each other. That's what the hell's going on. You leave one bad situation and hop into the next one, and you bring all that shit over to the new relationship, and you got the same situation all over again with a different person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
I don't know why my heater sounds so loud right now.
Well, we can't hear it, so that's fine.
Good.
So, guys, to wrap things up, I think that we made a lot of good points. Time always go by so quick, man. It goes by so fast. Like, I continue to go on this subject, but to wrap things up, I just want to shoot around the table really quick. What would be the tip that you will put out there for people? Rather, I know we talked more about how women are nurse. Are you his woman or are you his nurse? But this situation can go both ways. Men can find themselves always being in relationships where they have to save women, and they're playing the Superman role all the time. So what do you want to leave our viewers with?
I would say, and I've said this for years, take your time and date slowly, so you can kind of figure out if whatever that person's issues or whatever their deficits are, if that's something you want to engage in, if that's something you think that's worth your time and energy. Oftentimes you dive in too fast. We're having sex right away. Now you're in love. Now you can't see yourself without him, and you stuck with all his BS. And you didn't really sign up for that, but here we are. Date slowly, take your time, and I always say go talk to the family member that isn't as fond of your man and see what they have to say about it. Because the people who are crazy about him, they're not gonna do nothing but tell you the best. Oh, my nephew is the best. He's sweet. He talk to that cousin that he don't get along with to see what they have to say.
Snap! Wow.
So, yeah, go do that.
That's a good one.
That was the word.
Take that. See that now? Is that just about to say?
That was
Take it up.
Wow.
On fire.
Oh gosh, Jen, come on, Jen.
Two different things. I would definitely say working on yourself doesn't stop when you enter a relationship. And I think healing I don't think anyone is truly healed. It's an ongoing journey. And I definitely encourage anyone who may be listening to this and may find themselves in a situation like this, start the healing journey. I know that that process could be overwhelming in of itself, but one of the things in helping to kind of build insight, journaling, or if you have to, starting therapy, shameless plug, but I feel like, doing that self-esteem work, ongoing self-esteem work, as well as working to build insight and awareness, because you can't change anything that you're not aware of. And if you don't know why you do it, and if you're not cognizant of when you do it, then how can you change it? So I think working to build, awareness and insight, along with additional tools and the support of maybe a therapist, may help to heighten your awareness and kind of figure out what is your role and your purpose, and what are you benefiting from in this relationship? What needs are being fulfilled by your behaviors and his?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to give you guys the opportunity to put out your social media handles so people can follow you if they want to contact you for therapy, that you guys are available for that as well, or for any type of speaking event. So I will start with you, Jen. You can throw yours out there, and then we'll go to you, Eli, and then I'll end everything up with my follow-up and my take on this whole thing.
Awesome. So you guys can definitely reach out for therapy at the Delaware Center for Counseling and Wellness, which is 302-292-1334.
All right. And her name is Jen Fontel.
Yes, Jen Fontel.
Eli.
You can catch me on Instagram at Turrellian, Turri. Oh Lord, Turrellian. It's the whiskey. Don't mind me. And I don't see anybody who's not referred to me from the state, so I can't help you.
Thank you, Jen and Eli. As always, it is a pleasure. So, people, I think that once we focus on healing ourselves as individuals, not only do we heal ourselves, but we heal the Black family. A lot of this nonsense that is going on between Black men and Black women, and us not having healthy relationships and finding ourselves in toxic relationships. We have to heal ourselves in order to heal the Black family. The Black family is so powerful. It's so important. And we have to stop hurting our queens, as well as our queens. We have to stop hurting our kings. So heal yourself first, pour into yourself first. And if you come into the relationship healed and whole, then you will attract or be with someone that is like-minded. That's someone that you can grow together, and you're not constantly have to put band-aids and band-aids and band-aids on the situation. So whatever it is that you are hurting from, whatever it is that you've gone through in your past, you may not be responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for healing from it. So let's do that. Let's start there. Let's start doing our own individual healing, whatever that may be. Get a therapist, get a coach, find Jesus, find God, whatever your religious belief is, do something. Whatever you need to do to heal yourself, heal yourself. Okay. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining us again at The Rebirth. Please follow us on all social medias at Clubhouse, and Facebook is at RebirthU. On Instagram is rebirth_radio. And you can also go to rebirthu.com. Also, guys, I just wanted to say, get ready, get ready, get ready. Who said that? Is that TD James? Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. We got the Rebirth online course that's going to be dropping soon. I'm so excited about that. How to start over after life crisis. So please be looking out for that. That's going to be coming in the spring. And all right, guys. So I'm going to right, exactly. Right. So, guys, thanks again for joining us, Eli, Jen. Thank you so much. I love you guys to pieces, and love you guys for watching. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.